For anyone who haven't watched Kuroko no Basket, spoiler alert!
Hi, we are
Intermezzo! I'm Luca.
And I'm Hannah. So, this episode is also on so-called antagonists of sports anime, and we're doing Kuroko no Basket. Today, our focus character will be Midorima Shintaro, who is the shooting guard from Kiseki no Seidai and is now in Shutoku High. He has the outlook of green hair, black framed glasses, and is tall at 195 centimeters. And a character highlight for him is his green hair and green eyes, and also his tape fingers.
So my first impression on Midorima Shintaro is his insane 3 points. I wouldn't expect such a shooting style, and surprisingly, like he's only a high school student, and he's already like 100% shooting rate.
Oh, almost.
Almost 100%, which I found this is really insane. But then this makes the match more interesting, because it will make you think like, how would I tackle that? I think it's an interesting point for an antagonist.
I remember a funny reason for him to choose shooting 3 points is that 3 points is worth more than 2. That was his argument when he was still in Teiko. I remember at that time everyone else was like, wait, what? But yeah, he is such an insane character, honestly, and apart from his 3-pointers, he has also got like a range of skills that he utilizes as a shooting guard, and that's what makes him such an interesting character. An interesting fact from the manga and also the anime is that behind Midorima's insane 3-pointers, he takes a lot of time to prepare, because his shoots, the further they are, the higher the trajectory is. So that means that he has to prepare for quite some time if he was to shoot one of the more insane 3-pointers that he has. And yeah, that's just a little bit background information on the 3-pointers that he shoots, which are so famous for him.
Despite him being a really like serious person, he has a really interesting relationship with his teammates. Say for example, when he's in Teiko, he has a weird kind of friendship with Akashi, because he used to, play shogi? Yeah, shogi with Akashi. But then he despises Kise because he thinks Kise doesn't really use his brain. And then he doesn't like Aomine because he thinks he's not seriously enough, like he doesn't treat things as they should. And then he wanted to have a good relationship with Kuroko, but then he gave that up because the horoscope doesn't match, which is I didn't expect that from a boy character. But then he doesn't really have anything to do with Murasaki Bara. Interestingly enough, he kinda matched up with Takao when he went to Shutoku. It all started with Takao wanted to team up with Shintaro. He first doesn't really wanted to make friends with him because he doesn't know what he can do, and he thinks that he's just not a normal person. He's okay. Later in the games, like when Takao showed what he can do and how he could support Midorima, and then they sort of like sparked, and they started to have more chemicals in their play, and they can really cooperate in the game and stuff like that. So I think that's kind of interesting, because he usually picks his partner, but then as Takao, like he didn't pick Takao, but Takao came to him.
Well, I don't think Midorima hates anyone per se, but it's more like he's got that tsundere expression on him all the time. And I would say that he doesn't really show his affection for any of his teammates, even from Teiko and until Shutoku. You could feel that he has sort of a good relationship with Kiseki no Seidai in the end. Like, even at the start of the anime, when Kuroko was in a practice match against Kise, he was seen spying there, and he was talking to Kise in a sort of friendly way for his character, you could say. And it shows that he's not really in a bad relationship with any of the Kiseki no Seidai. It's just that they don't click as well, especially by the end when each of them starts flourishing in their own way. And they sort of broke apart from there. Originally, I believe that they might have been closer. Like, you know, they used to go for ice together and they hang out sometimes, and then, like, ever since that issue within the team, that they started, like, crumbling. And, yeah, I believe that their relationship fell down from that spot on. And as for Takao, I think that they have really special relationship. Takao is the kind who's more outgoing, who sticks to Midorima, and he sort of makes Midorima do what he wants. And it's sort of a subtle kind of control that he has over this partnership. And it's quite funny in the way that Takao carts Midorima around. They have that little cart thing which Takao pulls and Midorima sits in the cart. And, well, the cart is, I think, something that shows their abnormal and special relationship between the two of them. And, of course, later we can see that Midorima and Takao really do bond until that they have full trust in each other, which you could see in their game against Rakuzan. So, they have a very interesting touch shoot, which Midorima does all his preparation and, like, jumps into the air without a ball in hand. And it's just when he shoots that Takao lands the ball in his hand. And I think that takes a lot of trust, and also that the two of them need to have a really tight-knit bond for them to do something as crazy as that.
I remember it's, I think Seirin watched that game, and then, like, Kuroko commented that he wouldn't expect Midorima to jump without the ball. So it became really, as you say, it became really special for his relationship with Takao, that he really trusted him. This sparked his team. Yes,
it did. I think his team also does put a lot of effort in Midorima. Like, they put up with his whims. And I remember at the start, they sort of had, like, a 3-time rule for Midorima.
Yes.
And so he was allowed to to argue for his cause 3 times.
Yes.
Yeah, they would allow, like, 3 times. I think it was per day or something like that.
I can't remember, but then I don't know why, like, teams, when they take in someone from Kiseki no Sedai, it's weird that they all clicked in, like, differently. So, for example, for Kise in Kaijo, like, the captain, he did that reward and punish system with Kise, but then at the same time, like, he's like a big brother that looks after Kise. But then for Shutoku, people, it seems, they just trusted Midorima immediately. And they wanted him to, like, perform at his best already. So I think this is the little things that the anime tries to portray for us.
And I think it also highlights Midorima's quirks. Like, I remember that there was one time that they put a tanuki on the bench of the Shutoku team, and they were like, yeah, that's one thing they compromised with Midorima for the day. And it was funny, because he has these lucky items every day, and it was said that he religiously listens to horoscopes and also lucky items of the day, and he carries those lucky items around, and he believes that that would make his day a better day. And it also ties into his motto, which is man proposes, God disposes. And I think that says a lot about Midorima Shintaro as a character.
Despite of just being religious, he's trying to do everything he can in order to make things happen. Like, it doesn't just happen, but then he really puts a lot of effort, which other people might not be able to see, and they would just claim him as Kiseki no Sedai. But then in the background, he has already, like, did a lot of shooting practice and stuff like that he ended up with such ability now that he can play in the game.
And also, we did mention that one of his characteristics was his taped fingers, and that was actually because he wants to keep his touch when he shoots, and that's why he tapes his fingers normally, and he only takes those tapes off when he plays. And that could be also seen by all his different items that he has, like the scissors, the jack-in-the-box, his sunglasses, and all those funny little quirks he has. I remember he says, like, he gets out of bed with his right leg and then puts on his shoes and ties his right shoelaces first and all that.
Yes, I remember.
And that's such a sequence that he has to go through every day. And I think it's just sort of a habit that he has to make himself do everything he can so that he will possibly get the best results that he could have.
Yeah, and he also forces himself to do really well academically.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I think it's one of an attitude that he doesn't want to just slack in something else because he was trying to put more effort in that.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, as a character, Midorima Shintaro, he has a sort of crazy ability in his 3-pointers. An interesting vibe as a character, especially of Kiseki no Sedai, and he also has good insight. He has interesting motto. He is the kind of character that works hard. He sort of believes in miracles, but he also believes that you have to work for miracles, and that's what makes him loved as a character by most readers of Kuroko no Basuke. So this is our episode on Midorima Shintaro, shooting guard, who is considered sort of antagonist for Kuroko no Basuke. We hope you enjoyed this episode.
This is Intermezzo.
Bye!